came. 10% plus the 3 they had. So restructuring is a settled matter. It has nothing to do with whether the Igbos are president or not. Nigeria will either restructure or there will be no Nigeria. People, when you hold something, you hold because your hand, so that the others won't get it. You are the tallest. You hold it. Someday, your arms will begin to ache. You bring your hand down, and people will take that which you are trying to take away. Restructuring is a settled matter. When people say that they don't understand it, including well-learned people, I say, do you understand reordering? Restructuring is not a technical term. Structuring is not a technical term. So restructuring can be a technical term. It is to change a structure which is not working to one which is working. Let me take a current one. We have a Minister for Humanitarian Affairs. And we also have a Minister for Health and Human Affairs. You know, you say I was Minister for Health. Ministry of Health, there's nothing like it. Ministry of Health and Human Affairs. But we now also have humanitarians. That humanitarian, that single ministry in Abuja is responsible for feeding a school child at home, preparing his food and taking it to his father's house to give him food in Gembu, give him in Akwihed, give him in Burutu, give him from Abuja. If you have to sink borehole in let me find a place in Igbo, in Abakaliki, the same people from Abuja. How inefficient can a system be when you over-centralize everything? That's why you can find that in feeding of school children during lockup or lockdown or lock-in we've spent how many billions feeding children who are at home? Such corruption, massive things that are opaque, that you can't account for, happen only when you have this kind of over-centralized system. So people are saying, why don't you do what the churches do? The bishop is not the person controlling the baptism in small parish. He's not the person who buries any dead person in his diocese. They have a principle they call principle of subsidiarity. That was what Nigeria was founded on. Only a few things, and on derivation, Nigeria's money was how to share it was Riceman Commission, RAISS, Riceman Commission, where you derive the mineral from, gets 50%, 50. And then the 30% goes to the federation account, where it gets even some more money. Only 20% goes to federal, because federal government was common services being like armed forces, foreign affairs, monetary policy, immigration, etc. even this debate on police, I was in the 2014 Constitutional Conference. Debate on police. The Native Authority Police began before Nigeria Police. And now everybody says you can't have state police. In which federation don't you have localized police? When I was there, I lost my temper and told our co-chairman in committee number 1, which I insisted on. I didn't want to go to hell. I wanted where the problem was, devolution of power. And I told my co-chairman, who was a former Inspector General of Police, I said, the reason why you want it is the Nigeria Police, funded by Nigeria. But 4 of you from Katsina have been Inspectors General of Police, and nobody from Anambra can ever dare be. That's why you want it. Not that it solves a problem. You want a situation where Nigeria funds a situation, and you sit on it. And you are also Director of Administration and Finance. Everywhere you go, Director of Administration and Finance. So how can we be talking of restructuring? Restructuring is a settled matter. If you don't restructure, I'm afraid for the future of the country. Because the human spirit does not accept to be enslaved. You can't have first class and second class citizens in a country. We Caucasians have accepted it. The Soviet Union accepted it. Did Yugoslavia accept it? Did Czechoslovakia accept it? That you can have a nation where one person is dominant over the others. Didn't they break? Did heavens fall? The Czechs and the Slovaks. Yugoslavia, how many? Not to talk of Russia. Even the Rhodesia, South and the North. Which federation? But Nigerian federation can work if we start looking at what we like. We like ourselves. I found that out. Send your son to study in England now. You will be lucky. He comes back with a wife from another part of the country. How many people have we sent abroad that came back with northern wives? How many of us are married to northern wives? How many Igbos? We like ourselves. We like the big market. We like the population. We love it when JJ culture plays. We love it when Tijani Babangida does his runs. We love it. In fact, when Amokachi, many people were calling him Amokachi for a TV man. So we love ourselves, but we don't love a Nigeria that works for some people, and we love a Nigeria that works for all the people. So restructuring is a settled matter. Nobody should go into restructuring. Restructuring for me is finished. Finished. If we don't want to do it, someday we will do it by force.
We think
now to the president.
Okay.
Now to the presidency.
Yes.
Now to the presidency. The presidency is the issue. There are so many people. You know, you can liken Igbo people to mad people. And mad people will tell you that the reason why they don't have any union is that because of this person's madness. It's not so. The same as because of the other person's madness. So the Igbos are like mad people. This one will carry his gun on this side. This one will be. But when they comes to become, according to Mbadiwe like Biafra, you will find such a unity of purpose which no other group can generate, which is part of the reason why the others really don't like us. They can tolerate us, but they don't like us. Now, the presidency, why you are hearing so many things is that we are doing our thing now. When the time comes, you'll find that Igbos have authority structures. There are authority structures. You mentioned people like Mbazulika. There are people like Komode Bitukiwo. There are people like Emeka Nyoko. I found that when we went for the 95 conference, at the burial of ZCOB, they formed a committee. That's when I knew that in the absence, that the person who was leading Igbo without making any more noise was Dr. Pius Okim. He was chairman. Nobody could fly in his face. How do I know? I was the secretary of that committee. How I ended up being that was this back when. Professor that's how I ended up being the secretary. And it was 6 months. Representing him was Desam and the Mwanyam, Enugu Sisi Ono and Odenigwe. You see, people, there are authority structures. There are things you say in Igbo land now, and I can say, and the Igbo man will say, who said? Odoyeku. Who said it? And when you learn, how did the Igbos make up their minds that they would vote for Atiku and never allowed APC an inch? The decision was taken. When it reaches this presidency, you will find the decision will be taken and people will be shortlisted. People will make noise. The arguments now are with this heavy debt that Nigeria is in, with this one-sided government that Nigeria has, which is headed by only one section of country, with the amount of unemployment and problems that have, it is like cleaning a church that is full of feces. And the Igbos are trying to see, why must we be the people cleaning up? Let the people who fill the place with feces, let them go on until it is clear. But the argument against that is that the Igbo need to prove to Nigeria that what they have always regarded as the problem is actually the solution. When they brought Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the debt vanished. we moved from 33 billion, I was in government, to 0. Now we have borrowed an unprecedented sum of money. I must say the Igbos coming in again. But the counter which people are holding is, we should prove to Nigerians that we, who they have actually regarded as their problem in Nigeria, that we are the solution. 2, that it is when everybody scores 0 in mathematics that you can come and show that it is possible to get 90% in the same mathematics. If we really believe that we are a can-do people, this is now the time to show it. But in order to show it, we must first of all answer the presidency that we're going for. For what end? For what reason? For what reason are we wanting to be president? 2, who are those who will be? And then we set out the criteria. Or are we going to join in the looting? And many other people have said they will join in the looting. Why must it be only the other people who will loot? When we come, we build, we go, and then they come and loot again. Because the sums being called, being looted, look at the ethnicity of looting and tell me the Igbo man you know who has looted billions of naira, not to talk of dollars. So these arguments are being resolved. When they are being resolved, the underground discussions and consultations with the centers of authority in Igbo land will take place. And when they take place in Igbo land, then the right candidate will be brought in. But I can tell you that all those hustling now so that they can come and dispense favors, oil wells, etc., and they'll be the richest, they will be even richer than Bill Gates and Co. and Jack Ma. That will not be the direction.
We thank you very much, Prof. We can listen to you all day. I think this is an opportunity for, I had wanted my own, I still have more questions, but let me allow our guests here to see if anybody have questions. Please, not much comment because we have already run out of time. This is meant to end 15 minutes ago. So if you have questions, please make it brief and direct to the point without much comments, please. We start with Otumba, who has raised up his hand for a long time. Otumba Olabode, please. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, thank you very much again. And thank you very immensely, Professor Nwosu. Like I said, I see him as a Nigerian. I don't even want to see him as an Igbo. So these are Nigerians that has good things for the country called Nigeria. But unfortunately, because we have always misplaced our place, we have always wanted to do things based on ethnic, religion lines. That's why we keep having this problem of not finding our way forward. The question I want to ask Prof, yes, when people say when the students are ready, the teacher will emerge. You are saying to me now today that once the other area of things have been put together, a candidate from Igbo land will come. But don't you think, like you said before, that there's a need for a foundation of where we need to get things properly put in place, founded based on rule of law, arrangement of how things should be properly done. One example like that is the area of restructuring. I still don't have doubt in my mind that if the country is properly restructured, I always look back and make example of California. If California were to even branch out of America tomorrow, California will still remain the 7th largest economy in the whole world. So if the country is properly restructured, and I want to give you the maximum respect for thinking so maturely, so wisely that if the country is properly restructured, there's certain things that they see will not even be attractive. Because once we structure each other, make the presidency look not worth of anything. So do you want to agree with me that proper restructuring is better than presidency for Igbo? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Otumba.
I had said that. I agree completely with you. That's why I said that restructuring is a completely different kettle of fish. It shouldn't be brought at all near presidency. I said restructuring was settled at Aburi, resettled in the 1994-95 conference, resettled in 2014 conference. So for me, restructuring is not under this, I don't have to go to California to agree to restructuring. Take Nigeria by independence. It was working. Awolowo there was competition. Awolowo had brought in first in Africa. I told you, why did I leave Afibo Government College in the East? And the only place I was thinking of was Ibadan. And then the scholarship to Ibadan. Immediately he did it. The next year, for him, it was a matter of life and death. You had the Eastern Nigeria Broadcasting Corporation. And there is not one of us who forgets Okono's club. Incidentally, Okono, so restructuring is a settled matter. Restructuring is good for the Igbo, is good for the Yoruba, is good for the Shekiri, is good for the Hausa, is good for the Fulani, is good for the Nube. We should do restructuring. Presidency, part of it, and I'll summarize it in one sentence, which a young man said. You know, when paternity is in doubt, it is only DNA test that settles it. Many Igbos are feeling that the presidency is like a DNA test from the Igbo in Nigeria, that they are children of the same father. And I think that is all I want to say.
I will take that. I have had already some sound bites. I'm taking home to them and I'm putting them down. You have just added another one. The presidency is like a DNA test for Ndibu. Very good headline. Let's take another question. Ahibwe, please. Can you unmute yourself? Ahibwe, please. Ahibwe, if you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Yes. Ahibwe, are you ready to unmute yourself and ask your question? All right. Until Ahibwe is ready, Prof, my next question will be, well, a large section of Igbos led by Mazen Namdekan of IPOB, because our question is actually very strong. Igbo presidency, restructuring, or dismemberment. IPOB are part of those who believe that what the Igbos need now is Biafra.
Can you hear me now, Dan?
How will you answer that? Okay, Ahiba, are you ready to ask your question? Okay, let me keep my hold, and then let's hear from Ahiba. Go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Dan, for the initiative. Very, very, very commendable. I really like what the Prof has been saying, and then his pan-Nigerian view to solve the Nigeria problems. The only appeal I want to make is that we should not generalize when we say we Nigerians just tolerate the Igbos. It's not all. I'm very, very sympathetic to the Igbo because I'm angry at the injustice done to the Igbo. As far as I'm concerned, I will cast my vote come the next election when it is not the Igbo presidency that we are seeking. If we really want to talk about unity, want to talk about progress, I believe that everybody should queue behind Igbo presidency. That is the message. Everybody, it's not about the Igbos. It's not about, if we really say we want to be one, that we believe in one Nigeria, that should not be the Tinubus raising their hands up. Everybody should be saying the Igbos should go there. The Igbo, if you don't want them to go, then let us not stop them from talking about, agitating about Biafra. That's all one point. I have issue with, perhaps the Prof can correct my assumption, that the reason why we are where we are in Nigeria today is because the Igbos and the Yorubas, they have not been able to agree politically. The history, Nigeria political history have shown it. What can we do to get the Yorubas and the Igbos agree? Because I believe so much that if the Yorubas and the Igbos can agree on the way forward, we can actually rescue this Nigeria from those who are holding us captive from the other side of the country. So what political situation can be applied, can be sought for this disagreement politically between the Yorubas and the Igbos come this next election? That's the question I have for the Prof.
I want to say thank you very much indeed for the sentiments you expressed. There cannot be generalizations. Once you generalize, then re-generalization, there must be exceptions. So I thank you very much for what you have said about the. It's not everybody that resents us. There are people who like us. But having said that, the one with the Yorubas, we weren't very happy with the Yorubas. 1967. As I say so as a person whose majority of grandchildren are happy who have Yoruba. But we're not very happy with them. For example, as Acheban and I said jokingly before he died, that when we ran from Ibadan, even our girlfriends, even our boyfriends didn't shed tears for us. Only few people like Wole Soyinka was prepared to go to jail for us and Tai Sholari. If we had stood our ground then and said the pogrom is bad, genocide is bad, we will not support this war, or maintain that if the East is made to secede, the West will secede, there would have been no Biafra. There would have been a better Nigeria. But I can tell you that we lost the war, not from our northern end, but from our southern end. I was a soldier. I was an officer. I was in charge of my unit. If we had, the bulk of the thing happened, this happened with Port Harcourt, with the blockade, with Bonnet and everything, and it was largely mainly Brigadier Benjamin. Eventually, the Biafra collapsed from that front. It didn't collapse from the northern end of Mohammed Shua. The many times Moritala Mohammed tried to get into Biafra, he was humiliated. So that is gone. But it means that right now, you can see that Ohaneze is talking the same thing as Asenifere. You can see that Nwodo is comfortable with Adebanjo. And some of us are at the background are making sure that it remains so. At the national conference, Adebanjo was a serious ally. He sat next to Ike Ife and sat next to me and Ankil Briggs. So he was there. We are hoping that this new matter will blossom, and we have no reason for it not to blossom, but it has to be nurtured. The reason why I'm saying all this is that we must, I can't say it in Igbo. What we say in Igbo is, if you know what will spoil something, please don't go there. Don't go there. There are some who are known by the nickname, anything will go spoil matter, just go away from it. So that we will know that the Yorubas have no-go areas. The Igbos have no-go areas. We concentrate, and the entire viewpoint of the Igbo man is Nigeria. The Igbo man has forgiven whatever has happened, and it is the killings. The Igbo man is comfortable with Benue, is comfortable with Plateau, is comfortable. All we need to do is to set up common ideals, common goals, which we are going to pursue. And then we build a nation. But it is not when it is my turn to be chief of army staff, you give it to somebody because you don't trust me. This is what spoils matters. But I can tell you that the current Igbo are what they are thinking and what they are doing is in complete tandem with the Yoruba.
We thank you very much, Prof. Let's quickly, Julius Ebodage, please. Are you able to unmute yourself and ask your question quickly?
Thank you very much, sir. I'm glad to be here. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you, Julius.
Yes, please.
Okay, Prof, thank you very much. Now, my question is, what visibly is the bridge that Indigo is building to connect the old Midwest and the West to be able to come up with a platform? I think there's an interruption there. To be able to sell the Igbo candidate to the Northerners. I'm saying this because the mistrust, as far as I can see, is not from the Southern corridor, but it's from the Northern corridor. So what I'm saying now is that what bridge is the Indigos to connect the South and the
Can you again allow me a second? Let me